Hello everyone, my name is Slade, I'll be your host, and welcome to Star Wars Did You Know? Hello everyone, a quick announcement before we continue with today's video. First and foremost, I want to apologize for last month's lack of a video. There were some personal things that came up, I was in the hospital, a bunch of other things happened, so moving forwards, I want to apologize for that again. Another thing is that the Patreon has dropped below the $20 level, and so long as it's below the $20 level, I'm going to be doing one video a month. Now for July, I will be doing 2 videos, specifically to make up for the fact that I didn't do a video in June. However, going forward, it'll just be 1 video per month, unless the Patreon bumps up again the $20 level, like I said. With that out of the way, let's get started. Hope you enjoy today's content. Today's video comes about as a result of a conversation I had on Facebook, of all places, with a few other Star Wars fans. It all started as part of a thread when an individual asked, what does the Stormtrooper uniform look like? And when I was looking at all the comments, no one seemed to know. There were a bunch of really snarky remarks about the white armor. There were people just saying, bad jokes, making Nazi comments, because I guess the Stormtroopers are Nazis now, hooray! But no one actually seemed to realize that the Stormtroopers actually do have a uniform that is not their combat armor. And even more interestingly, in my opinion, is the fact that the very first Star Wars movie actually shows that uniform multiple times. We see it within the first 20 minutes of the movie on the Tantive 4, and we see it again later on the Death Star. And the uniform is quite simply the Imperial officer's uniform, but in black. It's that simple. We see it multiple times, as I said. The officer who speaks with Lord Vader after speaking with Princess Leia. The officer who then informs Vader that the plans are not on the Tantive 4. And we see multiple officers wandering around the Death Star later in the movie wearing the black uniform. Now, it is important to note that the Stormtroopers are not the only ones in the Empire that wore this black uniform. Typically, there were 3 groups that wore this uniform. First and foremost, the Stormtrooper Corps, then prison guards who would also wear the black uniform, and finally, Imperial pilots in the Starfighter Corps. All 3 of these groups could wear the black uniform. So if you see this black uniform on screen, or in comics or elsewhere, chances are it's either a stormtrooper, a pilot, or a prison guard. And the uniform was standard, just like every other uniform in the Empire, had the same double-breasted form, and the corresponding headgear, as well as a black belt with various pouches that could be worn. And unlike other Imperial officer uniforms, which usually didn't include a sidearm, the black uniform tended to come with a sidearm. This is usually because it was either a stormtrooper wearing it or a prison guard, typically. But also, as I said, pilots would often carry the sidearm as well. And I thought this was just a really interesting bit of lore. It's nothing major. It's not some big, we're going to break down the Starfighter today, or capital ship, or major event. But it's just one of those simple things I realized a lot of people don't realize. The very first Star Wars movie ever, A New Hope, Star Wars to those who saw it originally, and we get to see Stormtroopers out of their armor. And it's one of the few times, on screen at any rate, that we do get to see that, which I thought was kind of cool and something that is worth knowing if you're a fan of Star Wars. Alright everyone, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. There'll be more content coming. If you've got any questions or comments, by all means leave them and I'll be responding to them shortly. Until next time, this is your host Slade, and this has been Star Wars Did You Know?